I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, yeah. Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life. I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. By thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Hollow Sports All plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hollow Sports All plays.
Good morning and welcome to the ASAP College Sports Breakdown. I am Ray Cruz. I am your host today. My buddy will be on momentarily here. I'd like to say Billy Buzz Smith, welcome to the show. Good morning, guys. Go UConn, the Huskies fans on board here. Yes, football team is going okay for your season. Not the part of the way you like it, but you know they can come around. But basketball season is coming around the corner. But right now we are in college football season. We are going to break it down. Sorry we have missed the last 2 weeks. I had 1 week. I had a food drive in my church. I had 10, and then last week we took the day off because my co-host had his birthday, so wish him a happy late birthday when he comes on the show here today. But we're going to break it down. We got 18 of the 56 games that are going to be played today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be breaking down the contest for Saturday, and then we'll get our pick 'em in and all that stuff that goes around here. So let's get this show started a little bit here. If you want to see us here, we are at 9 a.m. most every Saturdays on our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff. So you can get that. I also put a link into the chat. If you look at it, it's our LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn tree, you can catch where all our platforms are, the TV, the website. You can go check all that great content that we have going on. Later on today, we have Red Kingdom coming up about couple hours right after about an hour and a half right after my show today. We have Unscripted coming on later on tonight. And yes, I will be bringing back Jags Nation. If you're a Jaguar fan, we'll be breaking down the Pittsburgh Steelers game on Sunday later on tonight about 9:30. That's about estimated time for me to come on for that show there. And also the post-game show on Sunday at the same time, about 9:30 time frame. Also on Sunday, catch the Touchdown Crew comes on at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to break down all the NFL. There's the NFL pregame show here on All Sports All Place Network. And then we have the wrestling show later on that evening. Then Jags Nation comes back around for the post-game show of the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in Pittsburgh coming up on Sunday. So other than that, we got that going here a little bit here. So Dre should be joining us here. We'll bring it a little bit more. Let's break it down a little bit here. Let's break it down here to the top 25. You can see the top 25 there coming across the thing. We got number 1, Georgia with 38 votes. Number 2, Michigan with 19 votes. Number 3, Ohio State with 3 votes. And number 4, Florida State with 3 votes. Also, and then you got Washington comes in at number 5, Oklahoma number 6, number 7, Texas. You can see that going across the screen there. That's the AP top 25 rankings. And we're going to go with as soon as I get through to here a little bit, then we'll go with the American Football Coaches Association top 25 here. We'll bring that up momentarily. You can see a little bit of different discrepancy here. Georgia with 58 votes, Michigan with 44 votes, Ohio State with 2, Florida State didn't get any votes. On down, you can see that a little bit of a change there as they come across the stage, come across the screen there at the bottom. So they'll be periodically running through the day here while we're on the show. The College Breakdown show will lead you all the way up to noon kickoff. We might have to cut a little bit early because I have some other important engagement I need to do about 11 o'clock. So we're probably going to be on for about 2 hours today. Had some issues that come around. Having my car got hit on Monday night. Drunk driver hit my car right in the driveway while we're sleeping. Got up the next morning about 4 o'clock to go outside to get something out of my car. And my car was not parked the way I had it parked. And then it damaged the whole back end. So later on this week, I had Geico come out. And Geico, my insurance company, they came out. They appraised the car. The car is worth about $4,600. The damage is over $5,500, so we went on ahead and tow it. Tow the car. So right now, we keep my car in prayers because right now we're down to a one-car family again here in Jacksonville, Florida. I am located in Jacksonville. My co-host is located in St. Louis, Missouri. So he should be hopefully coming on momentarily here. I know he's seen the link and stuff, so I'm just waiting for him to pop in here. But I'm gonna carry the show as much as I can here by myself. We're gonna get right into the thing here. I don't want to bring up the college pick'em yet because he's not on board here. But the college pick'em is up to date from week 6. We missed week 7 and 8. Today's week 9, so we're gonna be breaking down all 18 of the 56 games. Then we're gonna have a rapid fire to break down in some of the segments here on the All Sports All Places Network. But we will bring you our picks for every single 56 games going from Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how we pick them here on the College Breakdown Show. So stay with us here, and we'll be right back after these quick messages on the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown Show. I am your host, Ray Cruz. We'll be right back.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fonx D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at fonxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All College Breakdown Show here on the All Sports All Place Network. I am Ray Cruz. I am your host here today, and Mr. Billy Buzz Smith came in. He says they need a 14 parlay lock. We're going to give you some of our locks as we go down when we break the college football. So stay with us through the whole broadcast. We'll break it all down to, and then you can pick your 4 out of the point spreads that we go. We do the over and under here on the All Sports All Placement when we talk about the teams that we have to break down. Also, we do give you the point, the over and under to most of all the games that we do rapid fire. So we'll give you a little bit of our thing, and then we'll give you our opinion. What could be a lot, what could not be a lot. But you can take what it's worth. We don't guarantee any victories for you. We don't guarantee any money for you in the betting world, but you can listen to what we say, talk about the team, how to break it down, and you can make your own formal decision what you want to put in your 4-game parlay for this week. So, further ado, right now we're waiting on Dre to come in, but we'll get started right now here a little bit here. We'll break it down a little bit some for you, but I'll break some of the lines. You want some of the daily lines? I can break it down to you right now. For Saturday, October 28th, Florida State and Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons at 12 o'clock. Florida State comes in at 7-0, and their line is 20.5 is a favorite for today's ball game. Their ML line is 14 and 91.9% FPI. So that gives you a little bit of a standing of what you want to look at your daily lines here on that parlay. Wake Forest is not, it's 52.0% for them to actually win this ball game today against Florida State plus 800. So if you want to go with the point spread in these ball games here, we'll give you that a little bit later on here as we break it down. So let me go and look at some more stuff here for you on these things. Let's see if I can get the betting lines here. Let me see if I can get the betting lines here. Do a little bit of a Google search so I can get the betting lines. Let me get the betting line here. All right, we'll go with CBS Sports betting lines here for this week here, and then we got Caesars in our thing. So if you're looking at some odds here for these games, Indiana versus Penn State. Penn State is favored by 31 points. You can take that for the worst. Like I said, Florida State is favored by 20.5. Um, Oklahoma, they got a little bit of a close one, 8.5 favorite for Oklahoma over Kansas. You got a 14-point favorite for Georgia over Florida. Um, Duke is favored by 6. Notre Dame's favored by 20.5. Texas favored by 20. Oregon State, Oregon and Utah is really a push. That game could be. I don't want to say you don't want to pick that game because that game is always close. Either other team can win. Utah's had Oregon's number in the last few years. So you got to really concentrate on that. Tulane and Rice, that could be a toss up too on your parlay. USC versus California. Now the thing with USC is their offense is great, but their defense is weak. So the defense does give up a lot of points. The last few weeks, they have not been the same team they were starting at the season because they got into their Ram, and Utah had really played a great defense against them, really slowing that offense down. Every time they substitute, Utah slowly substituted. So they really took some of that momentum away from that USC offense last week. And also, USC's defense is not very capable of stopping teams as of lately. They have not been a great defensive team all year, but they did get away with a lot of stuff due to the fact that, they play in some of the weaker teams at the beginning of the season, but now they're getting into the conference plays that really, level that playing field for USC this year. So Lincoln Riley, right now they're ranked number 24 in the nation right now. So you got to really look at that ram of the barometer here on that. Air Force is ranked number 19. They're going against Colorado State. It could be a toss up because we don't know which Colorado State team shows up. The Colorado State team that showed up against Colorado when they played, or is it going to be the one they showed up last week that really stunk up the place? So you got to really look at that. They could be their Heckle and Jai team right now. Air Force is pretty stout right now. The one I really look at here is going to be the Washington Stanford game. That could be a little bit of a mixture. If you want to use that as one of your parlays, you could. But you got to really think about Stanford was playing great up to a certain point of a game, and now you got Washington and Penix, who's now trying to get back on track a little bit here. So that's a little bit of a wish-wash looking at that game right there in the Pac-12. Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. Ole Miss could, slander Vanderbilt's hopes a little bit here if they get out and quick start. I think one of the interesting games of the day will be the Ohio State versus Wisconsin at Camp Randall. Wisconsin does play better at home than they do on the road, and Ohio State is coming in to Camp Randall, a hostile stadium. I think Camp Randall is a good home field advantage for Wisconsin, so that could be a trap game there if you really want to look at that in the Big Ten. Colorado versus UCLA. This is the game I really wanted to probably going to take a close look at today. Chip Kelly versus Deion Sanders, and this will be taken in the Rose Bowl out in Pasadena, California. Another interesting thing is now North Carolina had a big upset last week. Virginia upsetted them. They got to go into Atlanta and the Bobby Dodd Stadium, which North Carolina has not played very well in the past few years against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had the big upset in Keene Stadium last year. This game could be a toss up a little bit here. If North Carolina's defense does not come to play and they come to play like they did against Virginia, and the offense is not hitting on all cylinders like they did against Virginia, Georgia Tech could upset North Carolina this week. So today, so that's at 8 o'clock on the ACC channel. Another interesting game is number 25 James Madison versus Old Dominion. James Madison is favored by 20.5 in this ball game. It's not a lock, but you could use this game too because James Madison does play great at home. Old Dominion does not play good on the road. So that could be one of your parlays if you want to use that. That's just my opinion there, Buzz. Ohio State and versus Arizona, tricky game here. They got Oregon State favored by 3 over Arizona, but this game is out in Arizona. So DJ Ungalea's had a good season so far this year for Oregon State. He's doing better than what Clemson's doing right now out of the ACC. So that's a little bit of a take there. So if you really want my opinion for your parlay, I would take the let me see here. Let me get back to the schedule of the games here. If you really want to take it and look at your parlays here and stuff like that, for this week, I would take my opinion, I'll take Penn State. Penn State could bounce back this week against Indiana. That could be one of your parlays. I think that could be a very interesting pick there. Another good one. You're a UConn fan. You're going up against Boston College. That could be a toss-up game for you in UConn today at 12 o'clock. That's on the ACC network. If you got the ACC network, you can watch your UConn team play there. Another interesting contest that really looks interesting is Maryland versus Northwestern. That's a very interesting contest there. So I mean, we really got to look at that barometer there too. So another good one, another good part will be the Tulsa SMU game. That'll be another good game to watch. Clemson, North Carolina State. I mean, that's a toss up from get go. So you might not want to use them as one of your parlays. Memphis and North Texas, that could be a lock in one of your parlays there. I think Memphis is going to probably go into North Texas and beat them, but I don't think they might not cover the point spread in that game because North Texas does play a little bit better at home than vice what they do on the road. Memphis is an up and down team on the road, but plays great in Memphis. But this game is in North Texas. Another one interesting matchup today at 3:30 will be CBS. We'll have to break it down a little bit better. That is number 1 Georgia versus Florida here in Jacksonville, Florida, where I'm located at. Actually, it's probably about 15, 20 minutes down the road from me today. So that's going to be a good contest. That game's on CBS at 3:30. But I will not use that game as a lot because a lot of things happen on the rival games. And plus, especially it's Halloween weekend. So definitely anything could happen in that ball game too. BYU and Texas could not be a lot for you on your parlays because BYU plays great defense. Texas is up and down team right now, and yours is not playing. So we don't know what Texas is going to look like with the quarterback situation there. That game is on ABC at 3:30. Now, Notre Dame and Pittsburgh could be one of your parlays. Yeah, I think Notre Dame is going to destroy Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is having a down year this year. I think this is going to be – that could be a big lock for you there on one of your parlays if you really want to take that game. Again, there's going to be a toss-up to Duke and Louisville game at 3:30 is played in Louisville. Duke on the road has played okay. They played great against Florida State up to the point where, Leonard Riley got hurt. And they took him out, and that kind of messed up the mojo when they had to put the backup quarterback in. We don't know what the status is for Lincoln Riley today. So we'll see how that Louisville defense takes care. See if Louisville defense can take care of Duke or their Louisville offense can score on Duke. Duke's defense has been great. You got to give it hats off to Elko on that. He's got a good nucleus going. I like the way he came in and set the program up when he first got there. Did away with a lot of stuff that there's some of the nonsense, and he comes in with a work habit, and then you can tell by his team just taking on the identity of their coach on that one. Another one. Now, Minnesota and Michigan State, everybody thinks that could be one of your locks. I don't know because Minnesota's had an up and down season. Michigan State, we know what's going on down there with all that turmoil they got going down there, and they fired the head coach. Don't use the Virginia Miami game because we don't know what Virginia team is going to show up. At the last 2 weeks, the Virginia team has been pretty outstanding on offense and kicking some butts on defense. With the upset of North Carolina, there they are on a 2-game winning streak. Miami's a heckle and jive team too. We don't know which Miami team will show up today down in Miami Gardens at the Hard Rock Stadium. That game's at 3:30 on the ACC network. Oh my man, we gotta get the introduction going. We gotta get the band striking up. We gotta get the birthday party band going on. He is part of the Who's to Blame podcast. He has the wildest hair in college football pregame show. He is the master, the mathematician, the unbelievable, the great, the magician, the one, the only, Mr. Dre Montez. What's up, my buddy?
What's going on, my man? What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Oh, better than good, man. I can't complain. I cannot complain. How about you?
Well, I'm good, man. I am good.
It's been a wild couple of weeks for us, huh?
Oh man, you ain't know the half of it. I don't know if you caught the part of the thing on here, but my car was sitting in the driveway, minding its own business. I was sleeping. Next thing I'll get up to go outside to get something out of my car about 4 o'clock in the morning. My car was not parked where I left it. Somebody hit my car while I was sitting in my driveway, and now they have totaled my car on Thursday.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of touchy, give it go here. Let me see if I can find the pictures of it. Let me see.
I'm glad you weren't in it. And what we get now? What's the new vehicle going to be?
I don't know yet. My wife don't want me to get a new vehicle right away because we're trying to get a house too. So.
Oh, okay. I feel you. Priority.
Let me see here. Let me get it here. I don't know if you can see it, but let me get this off the screen here. Let me put it on.
Oh man,
full screen. Yeah, that's my car right there. That's how it looked when it's supposed to be vertically, and then the drunk driver hit it and took it sideways.
Oh man.
Yeah, they did that one, and then get it close up a little bit there. Took the whole side panel there.
Oh man, did you hear it?
No, that's the problem.
I was
sleeping. It happened somewhere between. It happened somewhere between like 10 to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run. Yeah, but you know the odds of that is that's the second time it has happened in 2 months. 2 months ago, my next door neighbor got hit the same way. Her car was totaled.
Oh man.
So yeah, we live in right on the curve. So when they come flying in, they drunk and they lose control, boom, they're right into our cars.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man, but I'm glad you're okay in your house.
Oh yeah, we're good. I was in mess up my wife's car, so
yeah, you've been in trouble, man.
Anthony Price says, "How about Colorado State upsetting Air Force?" It could happen. Depends on what team shows up. Thank you, sir.
Exactly. College football has a first half and a second half.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that could happen, on that situation. But I don't foresee. But it all depends on which Colorado team has. Well, since you're on here, since we get everything here, we haven't been on the show for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
So this is the total after week 2. I got 320 with 106 losses. You got 309 with 117 losses. So you're right now trailing about 11 games right now.
Okay. That's not bad. I think I
No.
feel much better this year than last year.
You're in a good situation because last year I was up by 20 by this point.
All right.
So.
Thank you. I was off last week due to my birthday. So my bad.
Oh, I told him that.
My bad.
I told him to come in. I told him to all wish you a happy birthday.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
And then Damon comes in and says, are the cameras around your area? Because you take that to the police and get a report. No, the cameras we had, my next door neighbor has a great view, but her cameras have been inactive since the last 6 months. So she hasn't gotten them fixed yet. So no, we don't have any cameras around us. So
I bet somebody got footage.
That's okay. They totaled my car, so I'm good. I just got to worry about it and see what I'm going to do next. That's the next thing. But anyway, let's get to this show here because I got to leave about 11 o'clock. I have another engagement coming around. So
you've been busy
lately. Going there. But we got some games to break down. Hey, the first game is number 4, Florida State versus Wake Forest. What is your take on the Seminoles, who had a scare last week against Duke until Riley, the quarterback, freaking got hurt, and they took him out, and then they put the backup quarterback, and that did the downfall for Duke University on that game. But they're going into Wake Forest. They're going into the Demon Deacons and Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at the BB&T Stadium. What is your take on the Seminoles? Will they go in there and wax Wake Forest today?
I must admit, this is the most poised team I've seen being undefeated. Normally, we see Florida State, FSU a little more hyped. They could have 2 losses, they have 3 losses, they could have 1 win, and have a little bit more enthusiasm on their team. This year, they've been a little bit more poised. So I'm thinking maybe that they have to come to the table meeting, gentlemen. Let's get through November 1st and let's make a little noise as we get closer to November. And the poise that Florida State is having right now and the way they played against Duke last week, yes, Duke football team, I'm impressed by this Florida State team. And I'm intrigued to see what they can do in an entire football game. I have not watched them play an entire football game, I must admit. But today I will watch that full game. I want to see what they're bringing to the table. I've seen the highlights. I've seen the clips. I've heard the noise. But I want to see what this Seminoles team is really about. I don't think this game is a true testament of what they're trying to do this year. But I want to get an inclination of who this team is. I got Florida State winning this game, not by much, because Wake Forest is good component of understanding the homework assignment. So let's not get it twisted. This is not Wake Forest basketball team, and this is not Florida State coming off a loss or a win against a Duke basketball team. And don't change the narrative on that. But I'm looking at this as a homework assignment for Wake Forest, and I want to see what Florida State is bringing to the table. But I got Florida State winning this. But I want to see what's impressing the odds and the hometown favorite on why this team is undefeated. Is it luck? Is it draw? Circumstantial entertainment? I want to see what's getting the hype on this Florida State football team. But I'm liking what I'm seeing right now, Ray. I'm liking what I'm seeing on this team.
Now, and you got a little bit of injury too on Florida State. We don't know what Wilson's going to be. His availability today is up to game time situation. He got injured last week towards the end of the Duke game, so we don't know his availability. But we do know Benson is a good running back. But Travis Henry, Jordan Travis, the quarterback, the FSU. Now, Wake Forest's quarterback, McGriff, he's not a slouch. He's 100 out of 169, 1,211 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He does turn the ball over quite ability, but that Florida State defense is another beast, another animal, because they understand their roles here in the situation. But can Wake Forest really contain, because they're playing at home? Can they really contain? I mean, they pretty much even that running back situation there. The running back has 99 carries, 471 yards, and Kyle Bohm, for Wake Forest, but Benson has 75 carries, 489 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But Coleman, the other wide receiver for Florida State, he has been getting open, and nobody can really contain him. Does Wake Forest corners be on an island today, or are they going to play more of a zone coverage?
See, that's the thing. We saw the stalling moments in the Duke game. We saw the hiccup. We saw Florida State figure it out. And this is a team that, as I said in the beginning of the segment, usually we hear a lot more noise from Florida State. I'm not hearing nothing, and they're undefeated. That scares me. Did they get some type of locker room speech from the coach? Hey, calm down. Let's get through November 1st and see where we're at. This is a pivotal moment coming off that win last week against Duke. It wasn't the most conventional win, but they won the game. But I think they cured the hiccup in their obstacle of the questions of that offense. Now, the defense, that's why I want to see the improvement at.
Yeah, that's another thing too, was that defense for Florida State. Right now, the matchup predictors got 91.9% for Florida State, 8.1% for Wake Forest. I don't think the Demon Deacon gets it done, but it could be close because Florida State has a little bit of a problem on the road. The last time they were on the road against Clemson, they went in overtime to win that game. That was a good game there too. So, but the last few games that Florida State has played, except for the Syracuse game, the Duke game, and the Clemson games are the only, and the Boston College game is the only 3 games this year that's been really close.
Right.
So if they can keep it close, get the momentum a little bit, we don't never know. Like last week, Virginia did upset North Carolina at Keenan Stadium. That was offense didn't come to play, defense didn't come to play, nothing came to play in North Carolina in that game. But anyway, so that's a little bit of thing. So what you going with Florida State in this game?
Yes, sir. Who you got?
I'm taking Florida State also. I just don't think Wake Forest has got that manpower to stay with them. So, all right, moving right along to our next game, the Oklahoma Sooners versus the Kansas Jayhawks.
Rock Talk Jayhawk.
Yep. At number 6, this game is at noon. This game is at David Booth Stadium, David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. Temperature is going to be 38 degrees. It's going to be sunny there in Lawrence. Oklahoma comes in at 7-0, 4-0 in the Big 12. Kansas comes in at 5-2, 2-2 in the Big 12. Right now, they got an 87.2 in the matchup predictor for Oklahoma to win this ballgame, 12.8% for Kansas. Let's see here. Some more game information. The over and under in this ballgame is 66.5. OU is favored by 8.5. Capacity crowd should be about 47,000 people here today. The odds was produced by Caesar Sportsbooks here today. So, my friend, does Kansas have a shot against Oklahoma today?
I think in the first quarter, they do. They show a lot of engaging football in the first quarter. Kansas has. This is not a basketball school anymore. We've been looking at the program football gridiron style the past 4 or 5 years. But I think in the first quarter, they can show a lot of excitement, whether they control the ball the majority of the time in the first quarter. But I think the first quarter, whether they get the ball or not, put that defense on the field. I think Kansas is trying to make a statement early. And OU normally has a problem in the second half of maintaining the lead or capturing the Vegas odds. But I got OU winning this game, but I'm just fearful and worrieful of the first quarter, the first quarter of this game. What KU is probably capable of doing. I don't think they can put up 21 points in the first quarter. But if they put up 21 points in the first quarter, okay, OU. Let me see what you can do now.
Yeah, Kansas coming off a loss against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma's coming in with just a 2-point victory over UCF last week in Norman, Oklahoma. This game is in Kansas. Texas, the last two games for Oklahoma have been really close. Texas 34-30, UCF 31-29. So, and then Kansas lost to Oklahoma State 39-32, and they beat UCF 51-22. So, that's a little bit of a common denominator. But then the other common denominator with the schedule was Texas. Kansas lost to Texas at 40-14, which Oklahoma beat them. So, right now, Oklahoma's in the driver's seat for the Big 12 championship game. Texas is in that little mixture to come in number 2 to go up against them. So that means right now in the Pac 12, this is a big game for Kansas to try to keep within one game of the second place team to get in that championship game again. But if the Kansas can win this ball game, if they don't, this really hurts them a little bit, drops them down 2 games behind the number 2 team, and then puts them 3 games behind Oklahoma in that top 2 spots of getting the championship game. That's how the Big 12 determines their championship game.
Right.
Because right now, if Texas can win out, but Texas got a little bit of a problem with their quarterback situation because yours is out for the next, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. So that's going to be the problem for Texas. We don't know what's going to happen at quarterback situation. We don't know if they just really going to redshirt the Manning kid and have the other quarterback come in and play. So that's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that later on here in a few minutes. So, I look at it here, Gabriel is a quarterback that you got to fear because he can run the ball, he can pass the ball. He's 166 out of 233, 2,131 yards, 19 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, good ratio. But being for Kansas, he's 62 out of 95 for 913 yards, 9 touchdowns, but he only thrown 2 interceptions so far this year. But Neal, the running back for Kansas, could give them a hard time because he has 90 carries, 659 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's going to be the big focal point to try to keep Oklahoma's offense on that sideline. Can Kansas run the ball effectively against Oklahoma's defense?
That's the thing, as we noticed the past 2 weeks in college football, whether you stick with the run or give up on the run or believe in your offensive scheme on what you did this whole week, analytics is affecting college football as well, as we both have noticed the past 2 weeks. If you can't run the ball, there is going to be a huge problem for you to finish the game. So I think you have to figure out to pick your movements and play selection to deviate up the game in your offensive selection. To me, with KU trying to come out and prove a point in this matchup against OU. But OU loves to stop the run. It's the passing game that OU has a problem with, to me, especially in the second half. They always forget about the lone receiver. I don't know what it is about the second half with them. It's like they think teams are afraid of the reputation of OU, but then they're facing the team and they realize they can put their chest out too. If they let Kansas put their chest out beyond the first quarter, this could be a much closer game than what we thought.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a thing too, because Kansas is really a heckle and jive team right now this year. So, yeah, he's getting his chumps ready because Florida's got the big game here in Jacksonville.
So, they're down the street from your house.
Yeah, about 15 minutes. About 15 minutes down. So, but next year, I am working on trying to get some internet. They carry me down there, and I will be in that mixer next year at this time to do our show live from the Everbank Field.
Game next year. We're doing the game next year from down there.
Hey, you come on down, man. We'll go find a tailgate spot and put the car and then pitch the table out, and then we can actually do our show from there.
I'm coming down next year to do a show.
So we can do it live.
Guarantee.
We can do it live because I can bring my mic. I got another mic that we can put up for crowd to come up and ask questions.
We can do it. That'll be so much fun.
So next year we're going to try to get some games. We're going to try to go to some colleges next year and try to do like college game day, do some shows from together.
Let's just show up.
How that works.
In the parking lot, just pull up a damn table. We can parking lot podcast tailgate.
Yeah,
DPT.
I can get a stand. I got a mic that I can put up, and so crowds can come up and ask questions and stuff like that while we're on the air. So
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
plan for next year for us.
I
Got
got
to
the
do.
SEC commissioner on the phone right now. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes,
got
sir.
the red phone going.
Yes, sir. Ray and I are coming down. Yeah. Okay. We will let you know. Yes, sir. So they
Hey,
already want to know our schedule for next year.
all right. I got number 6, Oklahoma over Kansas. Who you taking?
I got Oklahoma as well.
All right, we
But
both
I think
even
that
right
first
now.
quarter is going to be interesting. Keep that in mind. I think the first quarter is where the money is going to be earned. That first quarter.
All right, next one is Indiana Hoosiers goes into Happy Valley to play number 10 Penn State. The Nittany Lions, who came off a good defensive effort by Penn State, but their offense was lacking against Ohio State in the ballgame last week. So, what is your take? Did they get back on track this week against Indiana?
Penn State missed the boat. They had an opportunity to win that game last week. To me, the coach was scared. The coach was not about that life. He was not ready for that. Keen Peel looking coach did not look like he was ready to handle the press conference beating the Ohio State. It looked like he pushed aside, put his coaches under the bus, and nobody showed up to the party. And I'm disappointed in what the Nittany Lions did last week. I don't have any faith in them right now in what they did. They dodged a bullet on purpose. I think that's unfair to college football what they pulled off last week. If you look at that game in detail, you saw windows of opportunity for that team to take over the game. And if you pan the camera to the Penn State sideline or up in the booth, nobody was ready for the moment. Nobody wanted to help or accept the responsibility on what happened in the second half of that team. So I don't believe in Penn State anymore. I'm done with them. They let me down.
Yeah, I mean, the matchup predicted got 98.2% for Penn State, 1.8% for Indiana. Indiana's not really done good this year. The quarterback for Penn State is 136 out of 223 yards, 1,445 yards, and 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's a good thing.
Right.
The running game was kind of slewed last week. Singleton had 98 carries, 410 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And Lucas, the running back for Indiana, has only had 55 carries, 247 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Is their leading rusher. But you got to watch out for Lambert Smith. He was taken away last week. He had on 37 receptions, 454 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Penn State does run the ball effectively more than they do passing the ball this year due to the quarterback of Ehlers, but he has over 1,445 yards passing. But if you look at it this right here, like I said, they're only averaging 218.7 yards passing, 181.3 yards rushing for their offense. But Indiana's a little bit worse. He only averaged 198 passing, 113 yards rushing. So if you look at it that way, if you add those two numbers up, but yards allowed, Indiana has allowed, their defense has allowed 366.1. In Penn State's defense only allowed 218.1. I think Penn State's defense is a whole lot better, but their offense is shaky because the situation at quarterback, the running back, and the offensive line is not very stout, and they got overpowered by Ohio State in that ball game. But like you said,
right.
they had some opportunities last week to take over that ball game, and they missed out the chance of taking that. So now we're looking at here. I mean, but their early schedule is not really helping them either. I mean, they played Iowa 31-0. They beat Illinois 30-13. They took care of UMass, but which is not really taking care of really anybody. And then Northwestern, it's the only 4 games before they played Ohio State, and they only lost to Ohio State by 8 points. But they, like I said, they had that opportunity to take over that ball game, and they missed out. And I think if you look at Franklin, what his play calling was, he was more conservative than he was attacking.
For who though? Why was he so conservative in that matchup? That's what get me. I don't understand why he was so conservative in addressing the point. To what?
To way I look at it, this is the way I look at it. I think he was scared. I think he was trying to protect his quarterback a little bit more to where he wouldn't be turning the ball over. He could be scared of he not knowing exactly but I think he was playing more like the field position to where when you play a field position game in football, it turns around and takes your offense lackluster. But to me, I don't think he had a good game plan. I think
That's
his game plan was
analytics.
kind of off. I think to me, they didn't even roll the quarterback out any to get away from the pressure. They just allowed him to sit in the pocket, but the offensive line did not protect in the pass rush. So I mean, if you look at it that way too, he didn't have any plan to navigate that pass rush to get him out in the opening and have him to be a dual threat type where he could be.
Right. I
So
agree. I agree, but I just think he was playing too much into the numbers of the situation of the game, and that's not fair to me to college football or your team. I mean, the windows of opportunity, you have to go in that window. You cannot just walk by it and push it down. You got to go in the window, and they did not do that last week. Yeah, they're going to win today, but you can't apply today's skill set to last week's advice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you should have hit the sumbitch last week, but now you want to hit on today, and it's not the same person. That's
True.
the mentality that I think Penn State is having right now.
Yeah,
They
if you look at it right now,
the good team that they have.
Penn State's still in the mix, but for them to get in that championship thing, back in that championship thing, Ohio State's got to lose at least twice, and they got to end up beating Michigan.
Did you see
that's going to be
the Ohio State losing twice? I don't. No, Notre Dame and Penn State had an opportunity to shake the day moment, but they didn't.
Yep.
And now they going to keep talking.
Yeah. And then the thing going on with Michigan, the situation where the assistant coach had somebody to take pictures of the sidelines and all this
Still in signs over there. You got to get creative.
Now they got an FBI getting involved and looking at this game film and stuff like that. So
there's proof. Venmo is proof. Venmo is proof. Venmo emails, pictures do not disappear, people. It's up there, what they say, the cloud.
Yeah.
Well, that cloud not going nowhere.
But my question is, Jim Harbaugh said he didn't know nothing about it.
Bullshit. Did Pitino know about happening at Louisville? You damn right he knew what happened at Louisville.
Yeah.
You damn right he knew.
Billy Buzz Smith said can't play scared. You cannot play scared in college football.
You cannot play scared. I'm tired of analytics. It was a genius idea in the beginning. It was fun to play with. It's fun playing with numbers. Let's get it. If you love sports, we all love playing with numbers. But don't involve the numbers in the coaching outcome or the predictability of the game. That is my biggest problem with analytics.
So I got Penn State beating Indiana.
Me too.
I don't think Indiana's going
to have a shot in hell.
No. All right, we're going to do a little bit of fast rapid here till we get to the next game that we're going to be calling. That next game we'll be doing will be the Clemson NC State game. Let's do a little bit of rapid fire here. UMass against Army. Who you got?
Give me UMass. Thank you, Joy.
I'm going to take Army, even though Army let me down. UConn, which is Buzz Smith's team, versus Boston College today. Who you got?
Give me UConn. Let's go. Give me UConn.
I'm going to take Boston College. I'm on ACC homer. Maryland at Northwestern. Who you got?
Fear the turtle. Give me Maryland.
I'm taking Maryland in that ball game also. South Carolina at Texas A&M. Who you got?
Give me South Carolina.
I'm taking Texas A&M. Cal Fields, 12th man, will be rowdy in that ball game. Houston at Kansas State. Who you got?
Give me Houston.
Taking Houston. I'm going to take Kansas State. You got Houston. All right. West Virginia at UCF. Who you got?
Man, I used to love West Virginia until they messed up everything. Give me UCF.
I'm taking UCF in that ball game also. Tulsa at SMU. Who you got?
Give me Tulsa. I love their receiving core. Love them.
I'm going to take SMU in this one. You get a little bit of opposite. Western Michigan at Eastern Michigan. Who you got?
Give me Eastern Michigan.
Oh, you taking Eastern. All right. I'm going to take Western. All righty. Clemson at North Carolina State at 2 o'clock. This is on the CW Network. Devo versus Doran.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say Doran could be on the hot seat at NC State. Some people hope that Devo Sweeney for Clemson will go to Alabama.
To do what?
Take over the Alabama program?
Oh, my God. First of all, whoever replaces Nick Saban, you better pace yourself. What the hell? No. Who wants that responsibility? I'm going to keep it where it's at right now. I think Dabo got shocked this year, and I don't think that team is going to be as tenacious as we've known it to be, especially in October, because they lost, 2 games already?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Clemson is done on the big bowl game side of the situation. They're done. So now we got the shits and giggles clap, maybe 2 days or 4 days before Christmas type bowl game that we got here. I don't know what happened to Clemson, and if he's really thinking ahead that way of taking over the Bama George job after Saban. God, I no. He's married and has too many kids for this job. No.
Well, if you look at this game today, the game is going to be played in Raleigh, North Carolina, Carter Finley Stadium, 2 o'clock on the CW Network. It's going to be 69 degrees and rainy. They're calling for rain in this game. The under and over in this ball game is 44 points. Clemson is favored by 9.5. Capacity crowd will be 56,919 people. But when it's raining, sometimes NC State fans don't come out.
I've been to that stadium.
I'm just stating the obvious because when last time it rained there, they had the rival of North Carolina was there.
You were probably in the footage.
And the crowd didn't. I mean, it wasn't very capacitated crowd. So, but my question to you is: this is what I really want to know is Brendan Armstrong was playing great at Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him back over here to match him up with his offensive coordinator for 2 years ago at UVA. He went up to Syracuse. Now he's at NC State. They thought Brendan Armstrong was going to produce what he did at Virginia when he came here to NC State. He has not produced. They benched him. Morris, who had a pretty good start of the season last year when he came in, the quarterback for NC State, and then he was replaced when he got injured by Finley, and then Finley is gone completely. North Carolina State's team right now is that quarterback situation. Can they figure anything out to have that situation when Clemson comes to town? Because last time Clemson came to Raleigh, NC State beat them.
Right.
But this is a totally different Clemson team with a totally different quarterback because DJ Ugalea was the quarterback at the time they lost at Carter Finley Stadium last year. Can NC State, hopefully they get a repeat this year and try to defeat Clemson here in Raleigh? This could be a good shot to get them back on a little bit of a track. I mean, NC State's defense is still good, but their offense is putting them in bad situation because sometimes they turn the ball over and give their defense short field to defend. Another team has taken advantage of that this year.
Right. That's a good point. I think the way Clemson has played this year, they're showing signs of vulnerability. And that's a key sign for NC State. So they having that decisive decision at the quarterback position. Give them the two-headed monster. Clemson did it before, and it scared teams. How dare you bring in 2 quarterbacks on the same drive? Do that. It makes the defense get the look of surprise. And again, when you lose 2 football games in college, it's pretty much a lost season to most colleges and universities. If you lose 2 games, depending on what conference you're in, it's a wrap. It's done. The coach is not satisfied. The alumni, the boosters, everybody's pissed off. And I think right now NC State is in a key position to do something very significant in competing with Clemson with the whole game. You may not win the game, but if you can compete with them the whole game, that speaks volumes for your recruiting class. It speaks volumes for your underclassmen. it speaks volumes for what could happen next year if we apply the process.
Yeah, if you look at this, if you look at the last 3 games for NC State, they lost to Louisville 13-10. They beat Marshall 48-41, but they had to come from behind to beat them.
Right.
And then they got beat by Duke 24-3. But look at Clemson. Clemson did okay against Syracuse 31-14. They beat Wake Forest 17-12. And then they lost down in 2 overtimes to Miami 28-20. So I mean, they're on the road. So they only won at home against. They won on the road against Syracuse. They won at home against Wake Forest, and they lost on the road against Miami, and then they lost at home against Florida State. That's the 2 losses there, and Duke on the road. So they're like 1-2 on the road.
But you look at those losses that Clemson has had. Is it the play calling, or was it the defense? You got to look at those in 2 different ways. The way the play came in on those particular plays that put Clemson in a pivotal situation in those losses that they have this year. And I think that, to me, looking and understanding Dabo Swinney, his confidence in his underclassmen, the expectations of his leaders, doesn't meet his tier point. And he shows it on the sideline. When they don't do what he think they should do, he shows it already. In that first loss, when the receiver was wide open and the quarterback missed the receiver, you saw the frustration on the sideline. Even though the quarterback had enough time, he did not see the receiver. Then the second loss, the fact the quarterback did not see that linebacker coming from the blind side, offensive lineman missed that block. Running back missed that block. So how much blame are we putting here and there? But I still think the particles of the game is understanding that Clemson is not the same team. And I think other colleges and universities are seeing this. That anger, that will to win is not there anymore. It's not a bad thing, but you don't have the players you want. Okay, I get it. You cannot have a lackluster year, though, in college football. NFL, you can, but not in college football. They want you to bring it every day, every weekend, every engagement matchup. And Clemson is not doing it. Even though they're going to win this game today, this is not the Clemson team that I thought I was going to see in August.
Yeah, I look at it this way too. And this is a situation I look at. I seen an article the other day. I was just reading some of the sports articles out there that one that came across was the Oklahoma head coach. He used to be the defensive coordinator. They said he actually carried Clemson with Dabo. That's what he said. He said when he left, the Clemson program went down. Do you agree with that? You agree with any of that? At a piece of an article that, it was on. I can't even remember which site it was on. It was on.
I believe a little bit that if you lose that motivational factor from a coach or a player, it can impact the team. I do agree with that. You need that person that can spark the squad, your team, whether it's a tough situation, pregame, in the game moment, you need that person. If you lose that person, it's hard to find that next man up. It's really hard to find that because a lot of people are afraid to speak beyond the body of confidence, so to speak. They're afraid of that. But if you come from that pack, that hound, you can handle that, being voiceful and being appreciative to understand, to motivate your team. You can put all that shit together and figure out how to talk to your squad to pump them up. But if you lose that person, man, that's tough to find. Coach's words don't matter if you lose the inspiration.
Yeah, if we look at I look at this situation too is if you look at right now, the leading running back for North Carolina State is Brandon Armstrong, the quarterback, who has missed the last 2 games. And he's still the leading rusher for North Carolina State at 281 yards and 3 touchdowns. But he missed the last 2 games because he got replaced. So what's going on with the running back situation? Because usually NC State does have pretty good running back core, and now you got a Brendan Armstrong who's the leading rusher with 281 yards, and you got no running back in sight to replace him. He should have already been replaced as that leading rusher, but NC State has effective the run offensive line is not giving up holes for the running backs to get through, and the pass protection is not holding up either. So Clemson's defense is still good, but can the Clemson defense put pressure on the quarterback and make him make mistakes like certain other teams have, like Duke did? Duke capitalized on them mistakes the last game out for NC State. NC State's coming off a bye week. So
which is
now usually a team come off a bye week has now the plan against Clemson. You had almost 2 weeks to prepare for Clemson. So does NC State ratify their offensive line during that bye week to make it established to where they can compete in this ball game?
I mean, when a program has a history of having a good running game, and now you run into that pivotal point, you can't run the ball. I want to go to game film, and I want to understand the blocking assignment, and I want to understand from the running back, do you understand? I understand you come from a high school or a transfer program, you're a portal, and that blocking scheme could be totally different than what we have here. So I think the language barrier needs to be addressed right away. Understand how we block here and understanding your lanes. And do you see the window of opportunity when you're running the ball? And that's a lot of things that a lot of running backs in college are figuring out. They're looking for help when it's all on you to figure out to find the hole. That's what she said. But I don't think if you let go of the running game early, it's easy to figure out your game plan then, as we saw with Miami in the past 2 weeks. When you give up on something, other people see the opportunities where you're going next, and they're going to attack that as well. So it must be a well-balanced situation.
Now, if you look at it, too, I'm going to take a scenario you use for the Oklahoma game. That first quarter is going to be the key. The first quarter is going to be the key for NC State. If NC State can get the establish of a running attack and not becoming one-dimensional where Clemson can tee off on them, then that'll be advantage NC State. But if NC State can get a running game going, then Clemson's defense is going to navigate the run, and then all of a sudden now your quarterback's going to be running for his life because Clemson's pass rush is still there. It's not their defense is not diminished. It's the offensive side for Clemson that's diminished the program.
Right.
The defensive side is still strong, but I mean, when their offense turns the ball over, you get the defense short side of the field. That's what's going on with Clemson. Can NC State defense turn Clemson's offense over to short field? Because that's what's going to have. NC State's got to have a lot of short field to win this ball game. Because what Damian said is North Carolina State. It looks like the Buffalo Bills. They don't utilize the running back, and that's what is going on this year. So I mean, to me, from outside looking in, I don't, being a biased analyst, but I am a Tar Heel fan. But being a biased analyst, NC State. Right now, this got to be the game that they got to turn this program around, or else they're going to be in trouble for trying to make a bowl game.
Right. And I think Clemson right now is trying to look at probably January or December 31st to get in a bowl game right now. They're trying to look at January 1st. That's the odds right now with a bowl game selection with Clemson right now. But at the same time, NC State is now trying to put themselves in a situation to play a damn bowl game December 22nd. Before Christmas. They're not trying to do that. And the only way this can happen, it's that first half of play. Who is trying to do this, but who can sustain what they're doing in the second half? Because in the second half in college football, it's a whole different story, as we've seen the past 2 weeks that we have not been on.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that thing too, the quarterback situation, everybody thought to get Brendan Armstrong, they were going to be a little bit better than what they are. And then Morris was going to be that quarterback that took. But so when they let all that came in, they let the best quarterback they had go. And that's going to be, Finley, who came in. Well, Larry got hurt last year and beat North Carolina, hands down. But they let him transfer out because they brought Brendan Armstrong in. And then because Larry transferred out to go to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted, I guess, I don't know, he thought Kentucky was an upgrade. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know the thought process of that situation between Larry leaving North Carolina State
Shots
and
fired.
going to Kentucky. But the problem is they had Morris there. They had Finley there. Finley was doing what he needed to do to win. I mean, he won the last game of the season against North Carolina. So they let him walk, and they went out and got Brendan Armstrong, who thought he gonna come in and do what he did at Virginia with the offensive coordinator he had 2 years ago.
Won't happen.
It didn't happen. I mean, sometimes you pick out of the transfer portal, these quarterbacks go from one school being good and go to another school. The guys learn the wide receivers and all this stuff. And the nucleus is not there for NC State on the offensive side. But the defensive side and Willis and there is still there.
Right.
But now the problem is if Clemson gets short field because they turn the ball over, NC State turns the ball over because they have been turning the ball over frequently. You know, some of the Duke's drive is short field drives. So NC State has to minimize the short field drives, make Clemson go the long field because Clemson sometimes don't show they can go the long field and end up with touchdowns and more. You cannot have Clemson go short field, get touchdowns. You want them to drive where they have to kick field goals because sometimes the long drives for Clemson, they don't end in touchdowns. They end in field goals. So you keeping yourself in the game. But the question is, can NC State's defense turn Clemson's offense over to get their offense short field? Because that's what they're going to need to have this offense, you know, do what they need to do. So that's going to be the question here. So who do you got in this ball game today?
Give me Clemson.
Yeah, I'm taking Clemson too because right now NC State is a little bit shaking. Right now, if you look at the stats, their leading rusher is a quarterback who's been benched the last 2 games. And their running back has not been effective. So
and I mean,
that's a lot of things you got to think about in this ball game here for Clemson. Whose defense is going to be better, Clemson or NC State?
That's the thing.
Because this is going to be a defensive battle today. I have a feeling. I don't think it's going to be a big. I mean, the over and under is 44 points in this ball game.
That's knowing each other. That's familiarity right there. When 44 points is the over under.
Yeah.
Let me get my bookie on the phone. Tyrone, let me get that.
All right, who are you taking, Memphis or North Texas? Who you got?
Give me Memphis.
Yeah, I'm taking Memphis in this one also. All right, my friend. I'm fitting to put up on the screen here our next game. The number 1 team, Georgia Bulldog, versus your Florida Gators here in Jacksonville. On Halloween weekend. Is Georgia going to dress up as a team that could lose, or is Florida going to dress up as the team that they were back when they won championships? So which team is going to come to play here today?
Hey, it's great to be a Florida Gator. Hey, BB, say what? It's great to be a Gator. I wish I was in Jacksonville. I've been there before. I've been to 3 largest outdoor cocktail parties. I wish I was in Jacksonville today. Brock Bowers situation, the injury protocol. As a Florida football Gator fan, I don't like our offensive scheme. I need to know where our head is at in this game. Yeah, we beat South Carolina. I get all that. But that Kentucky loss burns my damn soul. It hurts me because the way we were tackling, the way we took the ball on the offensive side, nobody was engaging in the game. And I don't want this to happen again today. We have a window of opportunity to beat the fuck out of Georgia today. We really do. We can beat him. We can beat them Bulldogs bad today. Really, really bad. But I don't want us to get too happy and excited if the game is close going into halftime. The windows of opportunity is minimize the flags, time possession, field possession, and turnover. And don't leave points on the board. Leave analytics out of this, please. Please. I got a kicker that can make a 52-yard field goal. I'm cool with that. So that's what, the 35-yard line. I'm cool with that. That if I get the ball to the 35-yard line, I have 3 points on the board. Don't punt that sumbitch, and don't go for it. Don't take points off the board. This is UGA. And I think right now they're reaching for windows of opportunity to win the game. But I still think UGA going to beat us.
All right. This is what I look at. We got no Bowers for Georgia. He's injured. That goes 567 yards total of their offense so far this year and 4 touchdowns. They do a lot of stuff with Brock Bowers. They have the reverse with him. They have all kinds of different things, but that's gone out the window. But now Carson Beck comes to his hometown of Jacksonville, Florida, where he is from. He is from
you know him?
Jacksonville.
You know his family?
No, I don't know his family, but I know he's from here.
Okay.
But the question is, he has 4 interceptions on the year. He has 12 touchdowns. He's 173 out of 235 yards for 2,147 yards. You have a running back that has 80 carries for 460 yards and 6 touchdowns. But Mertz, your quarterback, is at 1,897 yards, 170 completions out of 223 attempts, 12 touchdowns, also with 2 interceptions. But Parasol, your wide receiver. If Georgia takes away him for Florida don't really have another wide receiver to get open like he can.
You saying we're one-sided offense? I dare you, huh?
Yep.
We're one-dimensional offense. Okay.
Just like Georgia, right now, the wide receivers got to step up for Georgia because Brock Bowers is that one wide receiver that constantly will getting open and making plays.
I told you in August, this is the year of the tight end, but go ahead.
But now the tight end's gone, so you got to have other players step up. Carson Beck has stepped up in the last few games too. So, I mean, if you look at the last few games here for Georgia, they played Vanderbilt 37-20. They beat Kentucky 51-13. They beat Auburn 27-20. It was a close game. But other than that, they've been pounding people left and right. But Florida has beaten Vandy 38-14, and they beat South Carolina 41-39 in a good battle down in South Carolina at that nasty stadium.
You always get your feelings involved in South Carolina.
But they did lose Kentucky 33-14. So
here's my thing. We're not the Florida of old. We're not the Florida Netflix special. We are this Florida football team. And until we recognize our pros and cons, coaches and players, we're going to have an issue. And our issue is what's going on with that defense. And why can't the offense, with all those numbers of positivity with the receiving core, the tight ends, the running back coming out of the backfield, the passing percentage of our quarterback, it does not equate to W's all the time. And that's my problem. We have all the ingredients to make a great meal. But when you go cook it, why it tastes like shit? And that's why I'm at with Florida right now. We have the ingredients to make a good meal. But when it's all said and done, for me to eat it, no, that's not food. That's foul, what's going on. I don't know if it's animosity to the coaching core, animosity what happened in the offseason to the NIL deals and players that transferred in the portal. I don't know. I cannot put my finger on how to win this locker room back and this team back and believing in my Florida football Gators. Maybe it's an outside voice to step in. But I know this team is much better than what we have displayed this year. You can tell. You can look at the sideline anytime we don't get a third down, anytime we have a turnover. Look at the sideline. You can tell the engaging players that are ready to win. But, Coach, not believing in me. Put me in the game, Coach. Let Booby spin. Huh? Come on, Florida. Come on. UGA's the better team coming in here mathematically, roster-wise, but I think UGA's going to realize something here. They are the best team in college football for the next 5 years at the running back position. If they take ownership to that, they could run the ball today for over 300 yards.
Look at it this way. And then Billy Bob Smith there said Georgia in double digit wins. I don't know it's going to be double digit. I
That's
don't think
offensive.
so. I
That's
think it's going to
offensive.
be
I'm right
closer than
here,
what people
sir.
think.
I'm right here.
Anthony Price said, would you take the spread, Florida plus 14.5? I'll take Florida on the spread because sometimes these
I'll
games.
take that 14.5.
Yeah, I'd take Florida on that 14
Damn
at
right I
Georgia.
would.
I ain't taking Georgia on the point spread.
Hell no. You give me
Because
that Florida 14.5, Combinate me. Combinate me on that. Yeah, let me get that.
But they give 14.5% chance for the Gators to upset Georgia, 85.5% for Georgia to win today, according to ESPN Predictor. Georgia's total offense is 509.4. The Florida Gators total offense is 421.7. But Florida Gators defense is giving up 312 yards, 0.4 on defense to 262.26 yards. The problem that I'm gonna see in this ball game is if Georgia's running back, if the running back gets going, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for the Gator. But the Gators' X factor is Mertz, because the Mertz legs he's going to can put Georgia's defense in a lot of trouble if they can't get it to him and sack him. Because Mertz can run the football. That's what he did at Wisconsin. That's what he's good at.
Right.
And now he has turned himself into a passer too. So he's a little bit of effective in both, a dual threat quarterback. Do you see Mertz legs getting in the way of Georgia's pass rush? And if Georgia's pass rush gets out of lane, Mertz can hurt you with the legs. Is that going to be a big factor in your eyes today?
I don't think so. I think we've watched enough game film to take care of that situation. My situation is understanding when you have – we got to take this game quarter by quarter. If it's 3-0 into the first quarter, 6-0 into the second quarter, going into halftime, 6-0, you can build on that. You can build on that. We've seen what teams have done in the past 2 weeks since we have not been on a college football breakdown. Having a big lead, then overcoming a big lead. We've seen both teams from both sides when you go into halftime in that locker room. I don't know if it's the coach, I don't know if it's the players, understanding what happened out there in that first half. But if Florida can understand what's going on in this whole game, this is a winnable game for my Florida football game. It's a winnable opportunity. But I don't want to say we got to go out here and play a perfect game. That makes no sense to me. Nobody knows how to play a fucking perfect game. That makes no sense to me at all. But take advantages of the mistakes. Let them happen. Let the mistakes happen. But let's capitalize on the windows of opportunity. Field position. God, field position, please. Anything inside that 35, kick. That's points on the board. Don't take points off the board and minimize the flags, meaning the handkerchief on my defense. We got to play smart defense. We can be aggressive, but be smart about it.
Now, I look at it this way. How good is Florida's pass rush going to be to make Carson Beck throw the ball away and make interception? That's going to be the key on Florida's side of pressure. But the offensive line for Georgia is pretty good. So do we see a lot of blitz package, or are we going to see a lot of zone coverage? Because if you put the wide receivers on an island against y'all's corners, it could be a dangerous game plan because Beck can throw the ball.
I mean, based on what I've seen from Uga's offensive line in pivotal situations, especially against Mizzou, the past 2 years, the way they played Vandy. I'm just looking at this from the SEC matchup standpoint. I'm seeing windows of opportunity on the offensive line than that defensive line of Uga. That offensive line is not as good as everybody think it is. If we can apply pressure on that left side where they're weak at, I think we can get really hunched down on that quarterback. If our linebacker stays home on that rollout, when we apply pressure, I think that's turnover central or a tackle for loss or a sack. We have that right there. That offensive line is not as strong as their defensive line. I think Florida, my Gators, have the advantage offensive line to offensive line. And I think my defense can attack that offensive line the same way Mizzou exposed them 2 years in a row.
Now, the next question I got the Russian defense for Georgia. I was only giving up 91.4 yards a game.
Right.
Your offense is rushing for 141.3. The Russian attack for Georgia has to be the focal point of today's ball game. They have to run the ball. But if Georgia makes Florida be a one-dimensional game, load up the pass rush for Georgia, because right now Georgia will get to your quarterback pretty good, pretty handily if they start bringing more than the 4 they got up front.
We know what UGA can do defensively. They have, to me, the fastest men I've seen over 375 pounds run a 40-yard dash. Never seen nothing like this before in my life. They can catch a chicken in the backyard. Our thing is having the right plays ready and understanding the defensive matchup. When we see something, we go to the line. Figure it out right there. You got to figure that shit out right away. If it gets into a confusing situation, hand the ball off. I would rather be in a 3rd and 4 than a 3rd and 7. If we get to a 3rd and 4 each time, it's a winnable situation. That 3rd and 7, that's a little bit hard now, because now we know that pressure is coming up front. And the secondary is going to do what? They're going to stand and wait. Then linebackers are going to do what? They're going to spread out. They're going to read things a little bit differently. And I don't want that to happen today. I want my Florida Gators to take the attack position today in that weak offensive line of UGA and let that quarterback make mistakes. Let him keep making mistakes. And we can have a turnover century, scoop and score, a pick 6, and put UGA in a situation they have not been in all year. Figure it out.
Yeah, y'all gotta win the field position. If Georgia wins field position, that could be a big problem for Florida.
Yeah. If Georgia realizes they are the king of the walk in the running back position, Houston, we have a problem. It's like Oklahoma State when Barry Switzer didn't realize the running back who he had. If he'd have known he had that in college, there's no telling what the history books will be at right now. There's no telling. But he didn't know. And I hope that UGA realizes that today against us. But I got my Florida football Gators winning this game today.
Because this is going to be a big game, because there's a lot of implication. Because this will put Florida, if Florida wins this ball game, Florida will be ahead of Georgia, even though they have both won losses, but they have the head-to-head matchup.
Tell it again to the people.
But if Georgia wins this ball game, they put them up 2 games over Tennessee, 2 games over Florida, but they still got a game over Missouri, but they beat Missouri, so they
play Mizzou next week.
Oh, do they?
Georgia plays Mizzou next week.
No, these 2 games here for Georgia. These 2 games right here could be so Georgia's not looking ahead.
Yeah.
Right now they got to take care of this game here. So, but now the question that question is too: is Georgia the front runner of the SEC?
They are. I mean, they're not as sharp as everybody wants them to be, but they are the front runner of the SEC. I mean, everybody else had a hiccup, injuries, not understanding the transfer portal, coaches thinking they know every damn thing, analytics in the damn game. Leave analytics out of sport and just keep it in math, please. Please, for the love of life. But Georgia is the front runner. They are the talk of the town.
All right, so you taking Florida? I'm taking Georgia.
I got Florida. It's a close game, though. Close games. It won't be a blowout. Yeah. We're not getting blown out, and we're not blowing them out. I see this game within 3 to 5 points.
Yeah, so Price said won't stay undefeated the whole season. He said Georgia won't stay undefeated the whole season. So,
give me
and then Anthony Price said is going to lose to Ole Miss.
We get 2 sacks for the Georgia game. Give me the points.
All right, my friend. Let's move right along here. BYU Cougars takes on number 7 Texas Longhorns in today's game. Without the starting quarterback for Texas, Who's going to be the quarterback that we see for Texas today?
Man, I tell you, if the quarterback at Texas could stay healthy, I think it would have changed the whole landscape of college football from the end of the season last year to where we at right now. I think Texas would be in the mouths of people of about the college football playoff tree. But right now, I don't know. They go with the young kid. He's a runner. They already said he doesn't know the offense that well, so he's going to be learning the game in the game. In the game, he's going to learn the game. No, we can't have that. I still have Texas winning this game, but I don't like the position that they're in at quarterback right now. But hey, this is a part of the game. Injuries happen. Next man up needs to be ready. The understudy needs to be ready.
But you look at it this way: you got Archie Manning close, but from behind, they say he was close to Quentin Ewers in the preseason, and then you got Malik Murphy could have easily have bolted from Texas. He's there too. So right now, I think they leaning towards Malik Murphy as the quarterback, and then Archie Manning will be the backup quarterback. I think they're trying to redshirt Archie Manning.
They should.
So
they should redshirt him. Let him have his own stage. I think if they bring him in now, it'll be like when Tebow came in doing that game when Chris Leak was quarterback at Florida.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of, okay, we get it. We know the heir apparent is coming. We know what's up next, but is now the time for this? Let's give him his own stage, his own presentation of college football.
And this is a big game for Texas, too, because Texas is trying to keep stride to be that number 2 team in the conference to go up against Oklahoma one more time for the championship game since before they depart to go to the SEC. So this is a farewell tour of Texas and the Big 12 right now, and Oklahoma. They're trying to be the number 1, number 2 team so they can try to take the Big 12 championship for one more time before they go to the SEC. Has to compete the likes of Georgia and Alabama and all them great SEC teams there in the running. So that's going to be a interesting look at the SEC next year when these 2 teams join the conference. But let's continue right along right now. Slava said the quarterback BYU, he's pretty good. He has 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He has 1,519 yards and 128 out of 226 passing. Yours is the quarterback that Texas leans on, but he is out. So that's going to be the question mark. The running back, Brooks, is going to have got to have a game to keep them offensive moving and the running back. But you also got Xavier Worthy, who's still one of the best wide receivers could be in college football. He's got 40 receptions, 545 yards, 4 touchdowns. So what does BYU have to do to keep Xavier Worthy out and keep Brooks from not dominating the game today?
Stay with your game plan. If I was BYU, I would stay with my game plan. The Cougars have been playing a good, solidified football program this year. The hype and the letdown on Texas is at their quarterbacking core. He's down. We saw what happened last year when he went down. They cannot rebound from that injury because I think he's the quote-unquote leader of that offensive scheme there. And I think this week, I don't think they can really address that situation of losing such a key component of their offense right here. So I don't think BYU can win the game, but I think BYU can hang in this game. If they do win the game, it wouldn't be shocking at all. It wouldn't be shocking at all if they win this game, considering what's going on the offensive side. And to slow down a player, I don't want to say double coverage, but I would let them know that I would put my best player on him. That's what I would do. I would make sure that Texas knows I have my best player on him. But don't forget, give me a little help up top. Give me a little help up top. I can't do this alone.
Yeah, you look at it this way too. This game could be a quick game because both teams like to run the football. It's got to be a running attack for both teams, really, to get him in some situation. But BYU's defense is okay, not up a strong standard, but they do play some good football. They do give up 150 yards, 0.3 yards rushing on defense, 246.4 yards on passing. Texas don't give up but 98.3 yards for rushing, the number 2 behind Georgia in the rushing defense. And they give up 234.9 yards on the air. But BYU only rushes 79.3 yards per game as an offense. And they pass the ball 222.6. That's uncharacteristic of a BYU team. Usually BYU is stronger on the run than they are on the pass. And this year is a little bit reversed. So down Texas, they are 289 yards through the air, 179.4 passing. But that's all Brock that's all yours and as a quarterback. So when the question is, BYU has a chance of upsetting Texas today because of the quarterback situation. But if the Texas running back gets going effectively, he could carry the game, and Xavier Worthy can carry the game. So that's going to be the key point. Can the ball get to Worthy to him with the quarterbacks they have now? So that's going to be the question. If Murphy don't get the offense going, if he starts the game and the offense don't get going, do we see Archie Manning come in the second half of this ball game?
No. I don't think Arch Manning is going to come in again. I don't think Arch Manning is going to play this year. I think in the end, they're going to do some things that are just a little bit more pivotal to the situation of knowing what's going on and understanding it at the same time that they're getting a Arch Manning type player. And once they realize that Arch Manning, his own man, his own entity, I think then that program is going to get it, because right now everybody wants in that win moment. You can't lose in college football. Once you have that loss, it's done. The perfection is out the window. And having Arch Manning, I think it'll change.
Yeah. Now, my question is, since they are moving to the SEC, are they trying not to put Archie Manning on any tapes so the SEC teams can look and see what Texas is going to run and then have it all be surprised when they join the SEC? That's just a chain of thought.
That can be a situation, but I think that, the only thing that's out there right now for him is just basically high school footage.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's out there for him right now. It's just the high school footage right now. And you can't build upon that in a college matchup this late in the year. Yeah, I know it's not even November yet, but it's late in the year to me in the eyes of college football. I think they're going to save this kid for next year, as they should do it the way it was hyped up to be. Let him have his own walkout party, so to speak. And I would take that over anything.
Yeah,
Do you want to see Arch Manning right now, or you want to wait till next year?
Next year.
Thank you. So do I.
Because, it's already halfway over the season anyway. So.
Hey, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
So he taking this ball game, BYU or Texas?
I got Texas. Talking to Arch Manning dad right now. Sorry about talking about your son. Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm going to take the upset. I'm taking BYU.
You taking BYU on the upset to beat the Longhorns.
All righty. Number 8, Oregon goes into number 13, Utah, the Utes, who's coming off the big victory against USC last weekend. Oregon coming off their big victory against Texas Tech. So, my friend, we know that Utah has a 2-game winning streak over Oregon right now. From last year, from the championship game, and then the end of the regular season game. Does Oregon get back on track against this stingy Utah Utes? And how do you feel about the Utah Utes quarterback situation when Cam Rising couldn't go this year? And they were leaning on this big freshman here who's produced very memorable games for Utah so far this year and beaten USC last week. We know USC's defense is not a dominant defense. Their offense is more dominant than their defense is.
The hell they do in practice. That's a pig farmer, right? That's the pig farmer. We got a pig farmer as a quarterback, Mom. We got a pig farmer as a quarterback. Listen, I don't know about the Utes since Urban Meyer left. I believe in who? Urban Meyer. He put the Utes on the map to me. Other than the basketball program with Keith Mahorn, this dude in the Utah football program, to me, has some impressive wins this year that made me say, hold on. maybe they're on to something here. Oregon, to me, most people call it Oregon. We know they have 147 uniform combinations that they can put together. We get that. That is Phil Knight U. We understand all of that. But I want to see the Oregon team that everybody knows what Oregon can do. And I want to see this Utah team from last year. I want to see those two powers collide. This Utah team this year, it looked like it looked at the footage from last year and say, hey, we can beat that team. The way they've been playing the last few weeks. Early in the year, I didn't know about the Utes, but right now, I think the Utes are on to something. I feel, would this be considered an upset if the Utah beats Oregon?
Nope.
Is that really an upset?
Nope.
Thank you.
The history.
Yeah. So I got the Utes beating Oregon, or as you call it, Oregon.
Yeah, if I look at this situation, and this is very interesting. I look at both teams on defense is giving up 217.4 yards passing. Identical passing given up in yards on the defense. Utah is only giving up 78.0 yards rushing. Oregon's giving up 95.1 yards rushing. Oregon rushes the ball 226.9 per game.
Okay.
And they throw for 326.1 per game. So they're a balanced tag offense. But look at Utah's offense. They only throw for 161.7 and they run 183.3. So, my friend, they only give Oregon comes in with 553 yards per game, and Utah gives up 345.0 for their offense. Yes, the pigs are on fire. If you look at that, if you look
got
at
a
that,
pig farmer as a quarterback.
But anyway, Bo Nix. Does Bo Nix get the job done today at Utah?
I think between him and Mr. Cook at Mizzou, I think they're the top tier quarterbacks in college football this year, completion and percentage-wise off the top of my head. And Mr. Nix is building his own narrative outside of his dad. I think the transfer portal worked for him better than anybody. He's building his own story. He's leading his own program. He's put numbers out there that nobody's ever seen. And I love what the offensive scheme has been doing for them, setting them up for the win, putting me in a winnable situation by the play calls you're giving me based on the defensive scheme that I see. That's what I like about Oregon. But can they overcome a deficit after halftime? Can they overcome not getting a 4th and 1? Can they rebound from that, even though the ball is on their side of the ball? That's what I want to see. I want to see the different intangibles of the game in this matchup today. Earlier, I thought that maybe Utah could win this game, but now the more and more I think about it, considering what Mr. Bo Nix has done this year, I'm going to stay with Nix. I'm going to stay with Bo Nix. I'm going to change my pick to Oregon.
Well, that's going to be the big game because Oregon wants to stay in arm reach of Washington, even though they lost to Washington for the number 2 spot. USC right now is 4-1 in the conference. Oregon State is 3-1, and Oregon comes in at 3-1. Utah comes in at 3-1. Okay. So whoever loses this game is going to be 2 games behind Washington on the loss column here. So my thinking is they're only giving a 31.2% chance for Utah to beat Oregon. Oregon is favored 68.8% according to matchup predictor. Bo Nix is the better quarterback between the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah,
on the field. Irvin, he is the big play rushing guy for Oregon. He's a speedster, 87 carries, 649 yards, 7 touchdowns. Does Utah have the corner that can match up with Franklin, who has 44 receptions, 768 yards, and 8 touchdowns? Franklin is the wide receiver that you got to respect for Oregon. If he gets going and the running back gets going, this could be trouble for Utah's defense.
It can. It definitely can be, for sure. It most definitely can be one of those situations where you're scratching for answers. But if they keep up to the game plan and understand what's going on, I think they can sustain and hold on to this victory.
Well, Damon wants to know who is worse, Tua's brother or Archie?
That's a good question. That is a good question. I'm gonna go with Tua's brother. I'm gonna go with him.
I don't know how Archie. I don't know. I only watched Archie play in high school, so I don't know if he's going to be any good in college. We have to see when he actually gets on the field and play.
Right.
Billy Bob Smith said, "Quack quack." Damon said, "Utah's upset," and Billy Smith puts the duck up. So that's their point of view. I'm taking Oregon in this one. I think Oregon is going to break that 2-game losing streak against Utah today. I think Bo Nix is top hand right now. He is playing confident football, even though they lost to Washington, but it was a close. That game was very close in that ball game also. So you taking Oregon too? You taking Oregon?
Give me Oregon.
Oh, we both got Oregon on this one here.
Give me Oregon.
All right, Pittsburgh at number 14, Notre Dame. Who you got?
Give me Notre Dame. Give me the Golden Domers. Rudy.
Yep. Yeah, if Billy Bud Smith wants to play Notre Dame, I think this is the game you want to do him on one of your parlays. I think this could be one of the parlays locked for you there on your spread there. All right, my friend. We're going to put people through this here. We're going to put people through the Blue Devils, number 20 against number 18, Louisville Cardinals. Playing in Louisville today. Duke has an issue at quarterback. Is he going to play? Is this a mistake to play him again because he got re-injured last week, even though he was trying to fight to get back in the game?
Right.
Now, Duke has to be cautious with him.
Very.
Because he's could be fragile. The high ankle sprain is not – the high ankle sprain is worse than the low ankle sprain because the high ankle sprain can last a whole lot longer, and it does affect you when you have to cut. But when you run straight, it doesn't really affect you as much.
As a quarterback, the ankle sprain is key. You can't plant and throw. You can't have agility the way you want it to do. And it just really messes with the mindset. I know you're trying to be tough. I want to be out with my teammates, my guys. But if you can't do the position at 100%, no. A quarterback at 90% is still not good to me. You need to be 100% to be healthy. When it comes to the lower extremities, to me, playing quarterback, it's going to show. Cause and effect, it's going to show. It is definitely going to show. I mean, Louisville is not the program it was a few years ago. But I think Louisville has realized that, and they're coming back to the same sense saying, okay, we could possibly get there in tiers. If we do this, if we do that, and we don't do that, and we don't do this. But here's what we need to do. And this is one of those things that's on that checkoff list. Let's beat Duke.
I mean, if you look at it this way here, too, I mean, Duke's defense is a powerhouse for that team right now because that defense is playing great. I give that to Elko. Elko is a great defensive coordinator. When he was at Texas A&M, he came and brought his philosophy. I think the team just took his identity when he first stepped on the thing. I like the way he came in and changed a lot of stuff for Duke to get them into a winning way, changing their nutrition all the way down to the atmosphere there. And I think he's got a program that's on the rise. But the problem I have with this is if Leonard can't go, Duke's backup quarterback who came in last week, even though he played that one game flawless, but he came against Florida State, he kind of disposed what he can do and he can't do. But the question I have is, Louisville's running back, Gerard Jordan, managed to just 2 carries for 8 yards against Pitt because of injury, but is listed as a starter. But it has 661 yards rushing, 94 yards average per game, ranked second in the ACC behind North Carolina's Omar Hampton. If he doesn't go for Louisville could be having a tough time running against that Duke's defense, that run style defense they have. But the question is still for Duke is the quarterback situation is going to be effective here. If Leonard goes and he can't do what he can do because he's a dual threat quarterback, he keeps a lot of people honest when he gets out there and moving around in the pocket. But if he's limited to do whatever he can't do, and Clemson and Louisville gets that Duke's running game stop, and then you get a lot of pressure. We could see Leonard getting hurt again. I don't like people getting injured in football games. It's just something that I hate. I don't wish ill will on anybody like that. But he is risking more injury to that ankle if he gets out there and plays. Does Duke really going to risk that, or will they risk trying to go with their backup quarterback this time?
I think Duke may go with their backup quarterback, but at the same time, I'm impressed and intrigued by Duke's defense, the way they've played this year. I mean, I'm really impressed by Duke football team. Again, we're talking about Duke football team, not basketball or women's soccer team or lacrosse team. We're talking about Duke football team. And I'm impressed by that defense, how nasty and fast they are. You can Trent Dilfer this back on the college scenario. If you bring in that backup quarterback, make the game plan really doable and achievable for the quarterback. Don't make it a difficult situation. We're not coming in here to make you get in the helm, get up under center, and throw a 35 out or a 15-yard hitch. We're not looking for none of that. We want you to control the game, understand the situation. Don't turn the ball over. Take as long as you need to get the job done. If they keep it that complacent, that's a winnable situation for Duke. That motivates, to me, the defense. But at the same time, you got Louisville, who's hungry as hell. They're hungry. They're trying to get to that big matchup. I don't think this is a college football playoff picture scenario, but I think it's a scenario where they're trying to get that big bowl game to get that national attention, to appease the eyes of the alumni and the boosters and the incoming recruiters. Look how much better we could do. Look what we're doing right now. But if you were a part of this, look how much further we could go. I think that's how Louisville is looking at this matchup with Duke today.
And then Damien said Duke has got their own Anthony Davis, LOL. All right, I look at it this way. This is what I look at. Louisville sophomore Austin Collins is going to be expected to make his second consecutive start right guard this week and replace the injured Roto Brown, who Brahms said this week will miss the remainder of the season with a knee injury staying before that loss at Pittsburgh. So he's making his second start. That's going to be a little bit of a problem because Duke's inside tackles are very good and stout. Yeah. Both of them are very there. So that he's going to have his hands full on the inside. They get pressure up on the inside. But the key with that is Louisville's got a quarterback that can throw the football and he can rip it. So, yes, he can. But the interesting thing I read about this thing is the series between these two teams. They only met 3 times. The Cardinal has won all 3 meetings at least by 10 points, including a 40-3 win in 2002 before the Cardinals were an ACC member. The team have met only once at Louisville. 2016, the Cardinals won the last meeting 62-22 in Durham 2 years ago.
What, Lamar Jackson there went one of those, I think?
Yeah. 62-22.
Yeah. But again, I'm not taking nothing away from Duke or giving them anything. I'm just impressed with the Duke football program has been doing the past 6 to 7 years. They have really come a long way. They're not the laughing stock of the ACC anymore. Where you can just say, hey, we're going to beat Duke football team. You just can't say that no more. You really have to have a game plan. That defense is nasty of Duke. They're fast. I didn't know they were that fast. That secondary they know how to swarm to the ball. When that ball is in the air, that defense runs right to the ball. I hadn't seen that in college in a long time. See it in the pros all the time, but not in college football. So I appreciate the fact of that, what Duke is doing on that side of the ball. But on the other side, they have issues at their quarterback in hand right now where they can't move the ball. So right now they're going to try to put this win or try to compete in this game on the hands of the defense and special teams. And I think Louisville knows that and is going to take advantage of this right away. They're going to try to wear down that defense, meaning hold on to the ball, time possession, and stretch that field when they know they're weak. And let's hit those receivers on the corners.
Yeah, and if you look at the two, Duke's most of their Duke had a season low 273 total yards last week, which marked fifth straight week that the Blue Devils had a lower output than the previous game. Most of that production is coming from an effective ground game led by Jordan Waters and John Keys Moore. But the Blue Devils are trying to get their passing game clicking. Dual threat quarterback Ryan Leonard grind through an ankle injury that had sidelined him for a game before returning to FSU, but he threw for 69 yards on 7 out of 16 passing with one interception, threw for only 134 yards in the Blue Devils' first loss to Notre Dame. We just had to find a better rhythm, and this is from the coach Elko, who said we just had to find a better rhythm, and it's at every level. Adding, you got to protect, you got to make clean pockets, you got to separate and get out, get on the open perimeter. I don't think there's a magical answer to it. That's his thought about his offense. Is out of rhythm. How does Duke get back in the rhythm if Leonard cannot go today? Because the backup quarterback, he looked totally lost when he stepped on that field against Florida State last week.
Yeah, Florida State was just way too fast. They were really into the game at that moment when he got in the game. My message would be to the defense, look, we can win this game if you guys do this or if you keep doing this and that. That would be my message if I'm the coach to Duke. The quarterback situation, Florida State's a different squad. They were hungry. They're hungry in a totally different way. They're undefeated. You face an undefeated team, they want to eat in a way you've never seen nobody want to eat before, especially when they see food on the floor. And Duke, unfortunately, was food on the floor for Florida State. Now, this week, you may not face the matchup, of course, that you faced with Florida State. We already know that with Louisville. But at the same time, you need to get some comfort in your quarterback. He needs to find comfort getting up under that center and being in an actual game instead of being on the practice field with his boys, his teammates, and classmates. How do you win that back in the game? That's a tough situation. If I'm trying to win the confidence of my quarterback and the team, I win that coin flip, I'm putting my offense on the field first. That would be a good way to let your quarterback know, hey, we're all in, we got your back, let's go. But I think the key to victory is Duke's defense. I still don't think it's enough to beat Louisville today. But if they can give a little ounce of confidence in their quarterback based on what happened last week, it speaks volumes for a young athlete. It speaks volumes.
All right, my friend. So who you taking, Louisville or Duke?
Give me Louisville.
I'm gonna take Louisville too because I don't know the situation with the quarterback. That's the scary part right now for me for Duke this week. All right, let's do a rapid fire real quick. Mississippi State at Auburn. Who you got?
Give me Mississippi State.
I'm taking Auburn in this one. Michigan State at Minnesota. Who you got?
Minnesota.
I'm taking Minnesota too. Purdue at Nebraska. Who you got?
A Boilermaker against a Cornhusker. Give me Nebraska.
You taking Nebraska? I'm gonna take Nebraska too on that one. Virginia at Miami. Who you got?
Give me Miami. You
taking the Canes? I'm gonna take Virginia. Virginia impressed me last week. I think they got a mentality. I think they got a winning edge right now. So I'm gonna take Virginia over Miami in this one. Iowa State at Baylor. Who you got?
Give me Baylor.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Baylor in this one. Is in Waco. The crazies will be out in this game. East Carolina at UTSA. Who you got?
Give me University of Texas, San Antonio.
I do too. I think East Carolina's down this year. Southern Miss at Appalachian State. Who you got?
App State, baby. Let's go, Boone County.
Yeah, the rocking of the Mountaineers up there, and the boom is going crazy. The moonshine's gonna be flowing.
Boom.
Miami, Ohio at Ohio. Who you got?
Ohio. Give me that Ohio.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Ohio on that one. 22 Tulane at Rice. Who you got?
Give me Tulane. I believe in a posse still.
Yeah, I'm taking Tulane in that one. Number 24 USC versus California.
Since Caleb don't want to play no more, give me Cal.
You taking Cal?
Mm-hmm.
I think USC is going to win, but it's going to be closer than what people think. Arizona State at University of Louisiana Monroe. Who you got?
Arizona.
You got Arizona State?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Louisiana Monroe.
Louisiana Monroe.
Louisiana at South Alabama. Who you got?
Give me South Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going to take them too on that one. Wyoming at Boise State.
Ooh, Boise State. Ooh,
The Blue Murph. The Blue Turf.
What you think about Caleb Williams' statement and situation?
I don't know.
Would you keep playing?
If
you're the quarterback, you're not going to Heisman, you're not going to the college playoff, but you're going to the pros, and you're a quarterback.
Now,
what would you do?
The one statement he made, all of them, he said, whatever team gets him, he wants to be part on them.
It's two things I don't like about Caleb Williams. I don't like the way he talks to his mom, and I don't like how assertive he is in his future. I don't like that. I don't like that.
So who are you taking?
NFL and the NBA is the biggest slap in the face you will ever see in life. You think you're really good? Go in the NBA. You think you're really good? Go play in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball and hockey, you can hide for a couple of years. You can hide. You can hide behind some shit. But football and that damn basketball, that's a slap in the face, man.
All right, so you got Wyoming or Boise State?
I got Wyoming.
You taking Wyoming? I'm taking Boise. Marshall at Coastal Carolina. Who you got?
You know I love me some Myrtle Beach. Give me some Coastal Carolina, baby. Let's go.
I'm going to take Marshall.
We are Marshall.
Number 5, Washington at Stanford. Who you got?
Give me Washington. I think Stanford was a fluke. Give me that Washington matchup. Give me that.
Number 19, Air Force at Colorado State.
Give me them Rams of Colorado State. I heard they got a great outbreak player that's going to be playing this weekend.
I don't know. They're too much of a heckle and jive. I'm going to take number 19, Air Force over them.
Heckle and jive.
Number 21, Tennessee at Kentucky. Who you got?
Give me Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kentucky on that because Tennessee doesn't really impress me that much. Troy at Texas State. Who you got?
Give me Troy.
Taking Troy. I'm going to take Troy too. Number 3, Ohio State at Wisconsin. Who you got?
Give me the Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State in that, even though Captain Reynolds is going to be rowdy. Vanderbilt at number 12, Ole Miss.
Say it again.
Vanderbilt at Ole Miss.
Give me Ole Miss.
I'm taking Ole Miss too. Colorado at number 23, UCLA.
Give me UCLA.
I'm going to take Colorado in this. Number 17, North Carolina versus Georgia Tech.
North Cat.
Yeah, I'm going to take North Carolina, even though Georgia Tech does scare me because Georgia Tech has beaten Carolina in the last few years, and plus Carolina does not play great in Atlanta. So, Old Dominion versus number 25, James Madison. Who you got?
I'm on this James Madison push right now, how they're undefeated and they're not getting no love in this bowl situation, which I think is wild. Give me some James Madison.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dukes of James Madison. Washington State at Arizona State. Who you got?
Give me Arizona State.
I'm going to take Washington State, even though I lost with them last week. Cincinnati at Oklahoma State. Who you got?
Give me the Natty.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one. Number 11, Oregon State at Arizona. Who you got?
Say that again.
Number 11, Oregon State at Arizona. Who you got?
Give me Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm taking Oregon State in this one. New Mexico at Nevada.
Ooh, I like Nevada's receivers, man. Oh, give me Nevada.
I got Nevada too. UNLV at Fresno State.
Give me Unlove. University of Nevada, Las Vegas, baby. Let's go. Run them Rebels.
I'm taking Fresno State. San Jose State at Hawaii.
That's a late game, kids.
That's 11:59. 11:59.
Oh my God, the game's so late at night. Give me the Rainbows, man. Get 808 in the building, baby. 808 in the building.
I'm gonna take 808 too on that one. All right, we got to go to week 10 and do these real quick here. Tuesday's matchup is North Illinois versus Central Michigan. Who you got?
Central Michigan, baby.
Yeah, I got Central Michigan in that one too. Buffalo at Toledo is also on Tuesday. Who you got?
Toledo.
Yep.
Toledo.
Taking that one too.
Liberty Mutual.
Wednesday's matchup is Ball State at Bowling Green.
Ball State.
I'm going to take Bowling Green. Kent State at Akron.
Give me Akron.
Yeah, I'm going to take Akron there too. All right, this is Thursday's matchup. TCU at Texas Tech. Who you got?
Give me the Horned Frogs over the Red Raiders.
I'm taking Texas Tech because they're at home. Wake Forest over number 20 Duke on Thursday.
Give me Duke. Give me the Dukies on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Duke in that one. South Alabama at Troy.
Give me the men of Troy.
Yeah, I'm going to take them too. And then this is Friday's matchup, Boston College at Syracuse.
Give me the Cuse.
Yeah, I'm taking them. Syracuse too. Colorado State at Wyoming.
Give me Colorado State.
I'm going to take Wyoming. All right, fellas. Even though we supposed to go all the way up to noon, I have some other stuff I got to get done right now. So this is our broadcast for the day. Come back next week and see how if Dre can overtake me. We got all together. So we got a lot of games. We got a lot of games that were not agreed upon on the same level. So Dre could have a chance to overtake me by next week if his picks all come true. Or if we split them, I can stay in the lead. So that's the question. Because right now, we've been doing this for 3 years. I am 2-0.
You winning. We gotta get a trophy this year. I'm gonna find a trophy and I'm gonna send it to you if you win it this year. But still put your 2 names on the first 2 years.
Yeah. So we'll do a trophy and we'll just put placards on it.
There it is.
So it's been good to have y'all on the board here on the college breakdown. Let's see what the last comment of the day will be here. Let's see here.
Thanks for tuning in.
LB Damon, welcome back. And guys, thank you for Billy Buzz. Is the last comment.
Thanks for the engaging conversation today. Appreciate it.
Yes. So I hope your UConn team wins, Billy. But it's going to be a hard game. I hope your Florida Gators win. But we know Uga is going to be a hard contest. And Georgia Tech is always a hard contest for Carolina and Atlanta. That's my team. But it's Ray and Dre. We see you later on the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown. See you next weekend. Stay tuned for Red Kingdom. Stay tuned for Unscripted. Stay tuned for the Jags Nation later on this evening. Y'all have a good night. Peace out. Reaper Dirty. See y'all later.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. Behind the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.